How you guys doing? It is Sunday, August 23rd, 2020. I hear in this quarantine. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to get into a lot of what happened yesterday because yesterday was Saturday. There was a lot of playoff basketball, playoff hockey. There was stuff going on in the WNBA bubble, and additionally, there's always Saturday baseball going on. First, I'm going to start with basketball, going to the first game of the night. And just to start off, the Milwaukee Bucks were able to best the Orlando Magic 121-107 to get a 2-1 series lead over the 8th seed. For the Magic, their big performance will come from Nikola Vucevic, their center. He finished with 20 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. He shot 8 for 19 on the night, 2 for 8 from the 3 line, and he made both of his free throws. Fournier would help him with 13. Big performances from TJ Ross and DJ Augustine off the bench as they each supplied 20 points. DJ Augustine had 24 and he had 6 assists. It just wasn't enough for the Bucks. For the Bucks, their biggest performance, in addition to Giannis, would be Middleton with 17. As he started, he went 7 for 17 from the field with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Brook Lopez had 16 points and 6 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe had 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists. Big performance of the night will go to Giannis Antetokounmpo. He played 31 minutes. He finished with 35 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, and a block. He shot 12 for 14 from the field, almost perfect, 2 for 3 from the three-point line, and he made 9 of his 12 free throw attempts. He shot better from the field than he did from the free throw line, and he still made 75% of his free throws. Amazing playoff game for Giannis, and like I just said, the number 1 seed Bucks now hold a 2-1 series lead over the Orlando Magic. Jumping to the second game of the night, the 5 seed Miami Heat were able to best the Indiana Pacers for a third straight game as they now take a 3-0 lead over the Pacers in the series. For the Pacers, Oladipo, their shooting guard, would finish with 20 points and 21 shot attempts, 3 for 10 from the 3, 8 for 21 from the field overall. TJ Warren finished with 23 points as he shot 8 for 18 from the field in 40 minutes. He also added in 6 rebounds and 5 steals. Big performance for the Pacers would be Malcolm Brogdon, their point guard, who finished with 34 points. He shot 11 for 17 from the field, 4 for 7 from the three-point line. He made all 8 of his free throws. And along with that 34 points, he finished with 7 rebounds and 14 assists. But it just wasn't enough for the Pacers. Big game from the Heat. Off the bench, Tyler Hero had 20 points as he shot 6 for 12 from the field and made all 5 of his free throws. Additionally, Jay Crowder finished with 11. Duncan Robinson had 15 from the field. Bam Adebayo had 22 points and 11 rebounds and 5 assists, shooting 7 for 11 from the field and making 8 of his 9 free throws. Goran Dragic, the Miami Heat point guard, would finish with 24 points and 6 assists along with 3 steals. He shot 8 for 17 from the field, 5 for 10 from the three-point line. He made 3 of his 5 free throws. Big performance for the Heat would come from their small forward, Jimmy Butler. He finished 5 for 16 in 37 minutes, but he finished with 27 points as he made 17 of his 20 free throws on the night. He also finished with 8 points, 4 assists, and 3 steals. Big win for the Miami Heat. Now they're 1 win away from clinching it, and the Indiana Pacers haven't won 1 game in the series yet. Speaking of a team that's won a game in the series, the Oklahoma City Thunder were able to best the Houston Rockets in overtime yesterday as they beat them 119-107. Pretty back and forth game, but once James Harden fouled out in overtime, it was basically kind of over. For the Rockets, Jeff Green would finish with 22 points off the bench as he shot 8 for 13 from the field in 38 minutes. Eric Gordon would have 18 points. He shot 8 for 24 from the field, 2 for 10 from 3. Big performance from the Rockets would come from James Harden, who in 38 minutes finished with 38 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists. He shot 12 for 27 from the field, 3 for 13 from the three-point line, and he made 11 of his 15 free throws. It just wasn't enough. As for the Oklahoma City Thunder, first off, big performance off the bench from Dennis Schroeder. He led the team with 29 points in 39 minutes. He shot 10 for 23 from the field, 2 for 10 from 3, 7 for 9 from the free throw line with 5 rebounds and 5 assists. Of course, big performance from their shooting guard, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who finished with 23 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 4 steals in 48 minutes. He was the only player to play 48 minutes. Chris Paul, their elite point guard, finished with 26 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. He shot 11 for 20 from the field, 4 for 6 from the three-point line. Danilo finished with 28 as he shot 8 for 8 from the free throw line. I think the play of the game went to Chris Paul as he made a bunch of big shots down the stretch, especially when he hit the step back three on Austin Rivers in overtime to go up 9. That was a pretty big play, a pretty big shot. And it was a pretty big game for Chris Paul as the Oklahoma City Thunder were able to pull out this win. As of right now, Houston still leads the series 2-1, but Oklahoma City Thunder is closer now than they were 24 hours ago. Going on to the last game of the night, game 3 between the Lakers and the Trailblazers, the number 1-8 matchup, as the Lakers were able to beat them 116-108. For the Trailblazers, it would mainly be 3 players. First off, CJ McCollum, their shooting guard, finished with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists. He shot 12 for 25 from the field, 4 for 12 from 3. Additionally, their future Hall of Fame forward, Carmelo Anthony, finished with 20 points in 42 minutes. He shot 9 for 20 from the field. He made 2 of his 3 three-pointer attempts. He would finish with 6 rebounds and 4 steals on the day as he guarded LeBron, and he had a pretty good playoff performance for the Bucks. And their elite performance from the Trailblazers would come from their elite point guard, Damian Lillard, who played 43 minutes. He finished with 34 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. He shot 8 for 20 from the field, 5 for 11 from three-point range, and he made 13 of his 14 free throw attempts. And of course, the Lakers got the win. Caldwell Pope had 13 and Alex Caruso had 10 off the bench. But of course, most of the production would lie in their top 2 players. First off, their elite power forward, Anthony Davis, would play 41 minutes. He'd finish with 29 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 3 blocks for the Los Angeles Lakers. He shot 11 for 18 from the field and made 7 of his 14 free throws. Pretty problematic, but I mean, they still won. And the biggest performance of the night, of the Lakers, and I just think the night in general, of course, was playoff LeBron. Despite his 8 turnovers, he played 34 minutes. He finished with 38 points, 12 rebounds, and 8 assists, along with 2 steals. He shot 11 for 18 from the field today, 4 for 8 from three-point line, and he made 12 of his 7 free throw attempts. And with this win, the top seed Los Angeles Lakers now take a 2-1 series lead over the Portland Trailblazers after dropping the first game. So that's what to look forward to. Those were the games that happened yesterday, and just give you a glimpse in terms of what to look forward to for Sunday basketball, because once again, it is the 23rd. At 1 o'clock, the Celtics take on the 76ers at ABC as the Boston Celtics look to be the first team to secure a spot in the second round of the playoffs, the Eastern Conference semis. Additionally, the Los Angeles Clippers are going to take on the Dallas Mavericks at 3:30 on ABC as the Los Angeles Clippers lead that series 2-1. The Mavericks are looking to see if their elite shooting guard Luka Doncic will be in game 1. I mean, he was hurt last game, so they're really curious to see whether he comes back, because if the Clippers go up 3-1, it'll be pretty crippling for the Mavericks. At 6:30 on TNT, the Raptors take on the Nets. The 2-seed Raptors take on the 7-seed Nets as the Raptors lead that series 3-0, and they're looking to put this series away, and they're looking to advance for a chance of facing off against the Boston Celtics today. That could be a playoff matchup made today. And at 9, the Denver Nuggets take on the Utah Jazz on TNT. Utah leads that series 2-1 as the 13 Nuggets are currently trailing them. But that's what to look forward to in terms of today. No one has officially advanced, but 2 teams can advance today. But of course, that's the playoffs. You kind of get that. You get that with every single game. Now jumping into the WNBA bubble and show you what happened yesterday. The Las Vegas Aces were able to best the Seattle Storm. The Storm have dropped 2 straight. Aja Wilson finished with 23 points and 14 rebounds. Breanna Stewart, reigning MVP, finished with 29 points and 18 rebounds as the Storm lost by 8, and they are now, like I said, and now with this win, the Vegas Aces are now 10-3. Additionally, the Chicago Fever were able to beat the Chicago Sky were able to beat the Indiana Fever by 11, 87-76. Courtney Vandersloot finished with 23 points and 9 assists to help lead the way. Now they're sitting at 10-4 on the season. And in the last game of the night, the New York Liberty lost their 12th of their first 13 games of the season as the Connecticut Sun bested them 82-65, led by Alyssa Thomas's 25 points. that's what happened yesterday. What to look forward to today. The Atlanta Dream take on the Minnesota Lynx at 4 o'clock. Following that, the Dallas Wings take on the LA Sparks at 6 o'clock as Candace Parker's looking to get something going. And Brittany Griner's going to take on Maisha Hines Allen as the Phoenix Mercury look to go 500. They're sitting at 6-7. They're looking to get their seventh win of the season. But that's everything that's going on with the WNBA. I'm going to give you a glance into hockey, of course, after the first game 2 was officially played yesterday, or the first game of the Western Conference semis, as the Stars beat the Avalanche yesterday 5-3, led by their right wing, Alexander Radulov. Big win for the Dallas Stars, as the 3-seed Stars currently lead the 5th seed. No, they currently lead the 2nd seed Colorado Avalanche 1-0. So far, big game from both teams. Now looking to see what to look forward to today. First off, the Boston Bruins are going to take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in game 1. Boston currently the 4 seed. Tampa Bay is currently the 2 seed because their first game is on at 8 o'clock. That's the first game of the Eastern Conference bubble. And the second game, the Vancouver Canucks will take on the Vegas Golden Knights in this 1-5 series. Game 1 is tonight at 10:30 on NBC Sports Network. And, completely new series, so of course there's a lot more hockey to watch. Very, very fun, really awesome to get into. And now with that said, I'm going to jump into what was going on with Saturday baseball, because a lot of good baseball was played yesterday. And starting out in the East, a lot of really, really close games. First off, I'm going to start with a doubleheader between the Washington Nationals and the Miami Marlins. In the first game of that, the Marlins scored 4 runs in the 5th inning, but the Nationals had already done enough damage, and the Nationals took the first game as they were the home team, and they won this one 5-4. Howie Kendrick would finish 1-1 with 1 run on the day. Additionally, their elite left fielder Juan Soto would go 0-3. Trey Turner would finish 1-1 with 2 runs on the day. Max Scherzer would make a start, but he wouldn't even last 5 innings as he gave up 4 runs. The win would go to Finnegan. Big win for the Nationals. The Nationals are now 10-13. Well, with this one, they were 10-13. The Marlins were 10-10. But for the second game of the doubleheader, the Marlins were officially the home team, and the Marlins were able to take game 2 after beating the Nationals 5-3. Big win from their up-and-coming prospect, Sixto Sanchez. He only allowed 3 runs in 5 innings. He struck out 4. Pretty big game for him. Corey Dickerson would hit his second home run of the season as the designated hitter finished 1-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Just big game for the Marlins. Like I said, right now the Marlins are sitting at 11-10. The Washington Nationals are now 10-14. Both pretty close games. Now transitioning to Atlanta, where the NL East leading Atlanta Braves were able to pull a fast one on the Phillies, beating them 6-5, scoring all 6 of their runs in the last 3 innings. Great start from Phillies pitcher Zach Wheeler. He struck out 8, only allowed 2 runs in 7 innings, but of course Hector Neris would blow the save, or him or Workman. One of those dudes blew the game. First, starting off with the Phillies, their elite right fielder Bryce Harper would finish 1-2 with 3 RBIs and a run. Bryce Harper hit his 7th home run of the day in the first inning, and he also had a sacrifice fly to put the Phillies into, or at least send the game into extra inning, or to the bottom of the 9th. For the Atlanta Braves, Dansby Swanson finished 2-5 with 2 runs. Their elite first baseman Freddie Freeman finished 1-3 with a run. Their left fielder Marcell Ozuna would hit his he'd have a pretty big game. He finished 1-4 with an RBI and a run. Austin Riley would hit his 4th home run of the season as the third baseman finished 2-4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And then eventually at the end of the game, it would be a walk-off single by Adam Duvall to give the Braves yet another come-from-behind win super late, which is what the Braves have been doing all season. Now jumping to the AL East, because, of course, the Yankees and Mets series has been postponed due to COVID. The Tampa Bay Rays were able to get their 18th win of the season after beating the Blue Jays in the 10th off of Kevin Kiermaier's walk-off single. Amazing pitching for the Blue Jays. Hyunjin Ryu would make the start. He would strike out 6 and only allow 1 run in 5, as Slagers allowed no runs, struck out 5 in 4 innings. But like I said, with this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 18-10, and now with this loss, the Blue Jays are now 13-12. Staying out in that division, the Baltimore Orioles hosted the Boston Red Sox. And they were able to best them 5-4 in extra innings after scoring 2 runs in the 10th off of a Pedro Severino walk-off single to give the Orioles the win. Good start from Orioles starting pitcher Alex Cobb. He would only allow 2 earned runs in 5 starting innings, and Perez for the Red Sox would only allow 1 run in 7 innings. He struck out 6. Jackie Bradley Jr. would hit his first home run of the season. Santander would hit his 10th for the Orioles. And with this win, the Orioles are now 13-4, and the Boston Red Sox are now 9-19. Starting with the AL Central, the Kansas City Royals hosted the Minnesota Twins, but the Twins were able to get the best of the Royals. They beat them 7-2 behind Randy Dobnak's 5th win of the season. He would allow 2 runs in 5 innings. He'd strike out 2, but at the end of the day, the Twins were able to get their 18th win of the season as the Royals now fall to 11-16. Pretty big game from Minnesota designated hitter Eddie Rosario. He finished 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He hit his 7th home run of the season. Additionally, their first baseman Miguel Sano would finish 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run, as Sano hit his 5th home run of the season. Pretty big win, like I just said, for the Twins. And of course, staying out in the AL Central, amazing pitching performance from Cleveland Indians starting pitcher Triston McKenzie, who in his first win of the season would pitch 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, 1 run, and he struck out 10 batters. He struck out 10 Detroit Tiger batters. The only RBI coming from Willie Castro, the shortstop for the Tigers. And even for the Indians, their elite shortstop, Francisco Lindor, would finish 3 for 4 with a run on the day. Their right fielder, Domingo Santana, would finish 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. Just a pretty big game for the Indians. With this win, they are now 17-10, and the Tigers now drop to 10-15. Going to the last team in the AL Central, the Chicago White Sox are able to get the best of the Chicago Cubs. But first, before I get into who had an amazing game, Kyle Hendricks would get his 3rd loss of the season. He gave up 3 earned runs and 5.1 innings pitched. Their elite shortstop, Javi Baez, would finish 1 for 3 with a run on the day. Big game for the Chicago White Sox. Their big performance. And first off, Luis Robert, their center fielder, hit his 7th home run of the season as he finished 1 for 3 and 2 RBIs. Amazing game from their first baseman, Jose Abreu, who would hit 4 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs. He hit 3 home runs in his last 3 at-bats of the game. His first in the 6th, 1 in the 8th, and 1 in the 9th. You heard that correctly. Jose Abreu, amazing game for him. I tip my hat. With this win, the White Sox are now 17-11. With this loss, the Cubs are now 16-10. Speaking of the Cubs, looking at their division rival, the St. Louis Cardinals were able to best the Cincinnati Reds and completely shut them out yesterday. Of course, led by their starter, Kwang Hyun Kim. He would go on to pitch 6 innings. He would 6 shutout innings. He strike out 3 batters, allow 3 hits. Big win from the Cardinals. I mean, they get 2 RBIs from their shortstop, Edmund. Harrison Bader would hit a home run as he finished 2 for 3 with an RBI in a run. With this loss, the Reds are now 11-14, and like I just said, the Cardinals are sitting at 8-8. And then, of course, moving to Pittsburgh, the Pirates won back-to-back games. They are now 6-17. First off, with the Brewers, their elite left fielder, Christian Yelich, would go 0 for 4 with a run on the day. Their second baseman, Keston Hiura, would go 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs as he hit his 7th home run of the season. But, of course, going to the Pittsburgh Pirates, big game from their second baseman, Adam Frazier, as he went 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. Adam Frazier hit his 4th home run of the season. Additionally, their right fielder, Gregor Polanco, would finish 2 for 3 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 3rd home run of the season. Big game for the Pirates, and like I just said, winning 2, especially considering how they've won 6 games and 6 of their first 23 games. Big feat for them, I would say. Now jumping out west, I'm going to start in Dodger Stadium, where the LA Dodgers were able to beat the Rockies 4-3 off of a walk-off home run from their elite first baseman. But first, getting into it, Dustin May would make the start. He'd only allow 1 run and 2 hits in his first 5 innings. He wouldn't get a decision. For the Rockies, their elite third baseman, Nolan Arenado, would go 0 for 3 with an RBI. Their hot hitting designated hitter Charlie Blackmon would finish 0 for 4 on the day. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, their elite right fielder Mookie Betts would go 0 for 3 with a run and a walk on the day. But of course, the big story would go to Cody Bellinger, the Dodgers' elite first baseman, who would finish 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run. And he had a solo home run in the ninth to give the Dodgers their 21st win of the season. With this loss, the Rockies now drop to 13-14. Now moving on to Candlestick Park, the San Francisco Giants hosted the Arizona Diamondbacks. Big win, of course, from their starting pitcher, Tyler Anderson, who would pitch a complete game. He would allow 0 earned runs, but of course the Arizona Diamondbacks did officially score technically. Because the guy that made base, it wasn't an earned run. But big win for the Giants. Yastrzemski would finish with an RBI as he finished 0 for 3 with 2 runs on the day. But just amazing pitching performance from Tyler Anderson. For the Arizona Diamondbacks, Peralta would be the only player to really get an RBI for them, as the Diamondbacks now drop to 13-15, and with this win, the Giants are now 13-16, half a game behind the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then, of course, going to the last NL West team, the San Diego Padres hosted the Houston Astros and completely destroyed them. They beat them 13-2 after scoring 9 runs in the second inning. For the Astros, it will be Belock. He allowed 7 earned runs in 1.1 innings. It was pretty hard to watch, but they did have one. They did have one guy who was hitting well. Their elite second baseman Jose Altuve finished 3 for 4 with a run on the day. Just good game for him. For the San Diego Padres, first off, their elite shortstop Fernando Tatis Jr. would finish 0 for 3. Their elite designated hitter Manny Machado would finish 2 for 4 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. Additionally, their second baseman, Cronenworth, would finish 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 3 runs. Cronenworth hit his 3rd home run of the season, and it was a grand slam. Once again, yet another grand slam that the San Diego Padres have hit in the past week. And of course, the big performance of the game, the hitter of the day, was San Diego center fielder Trent Grisham, who finished 4 for 5 with 6 RBIs and 3 runs. And just like Jose Abreu, he would hit 3 home runs on the day, and he would have 6 of the 13 RBIs, and he scored 3 runs. 6 of his 3 RBIs were himself, but still, 6 of the 13 runs accounted for by the San Diego Padres were thanks to Grisham. Big win for the San Diego Padres. The Padres are now 17-12, as the Astros are now 15-12. Staying out in the American League Central, moving out to the earlier games, the AL West leading Oakland A's lost to the Angels 4-3. Matt Chapman would finish 1 for 3 with an RBI and a run as he hit a solo home run. Oakland A's starter Bassett would finish. Chris Bassett, he finished pitching 5.2 innings, allowing 2 earned runs. Canning would get the starting for the Angels. He allowed 3. Just big overall game. Mike Trout would hit a 2-run double. Just a big win, much needed for the Los Angeles Angels, especially at this moment of the season. And last but definitely not least, the Seattle Mariners hosted the Texas Rangers, scored 8 runs in the first 3 innings, and basically ran away with it. Big game from their first baseman, Evan White, who would finish 2 for 5 with 6 RBIs and a run. He hit his 5th home run of the season, and he just had a really, really good game. Good start from their starter, Justice Sheffield, who would only allow 1 run in 6 innings as he struck out 5. With this win, the Seattle Mariners are now 10-19, and the Rangers now drop to 10-16. So that's what happened yesterday. I'll just give you a look into what games to look forward to today, because it is Sunday baseball. So, with everything going on, there's going to be some early games. Anibal Sanchez is looking to get his first win as the Marlins take on the Nationals at 12:35. Additionally, Carlos Carrasco is looking to get his 3rd win of the season as the Indians take on the Tigers at 1:10. Additionally, Yu Darvish is looking to get his 5th win of the season as he takes on C's and the White Sox. The White Sox are 17-11. The Cubs are 16-10. It's pretty wild that both of those teams in Chicago are both really good at this very time. Ross Stripling looks to get his fourth win of the season as he faces off against the Rockies, led by Senzatella. Dylan Bundy and Frankie Montas are they're gonna start against each other as the Angels take on the Athletics at 4:10. Zach Greinke's looking to get his second win for the Astros as the Astros take on the Padres at 4:10. It's just big all-around games as Josh Tomlin looks to get his second win of the season for the Atlanta Braves as they take on the Phillies at 7 o'clock. And with that said, I mean, it is Sunday, so I did want to take you guys through the stats leaders, especially as of right now before I get into the last game, what to look forward to today. So first, just starting with the hitters. Right now, Fernando Tatis Jr. and shortstop from the San Diego Padres, elite shortstop, and Mike Yastrzemski, the center fielder for the San Francisco Giants, along with Brandon Lau, Tatis and Yastrzemski lead the league in runs with 27. Brandon Lau is in third with 25. And right behind him, you have Trevor Story, the shortstop from the Colorado Rockies, and Dansby Swanson with the Atlanta Braves with 24 runs. Going into the hit leaders, Charlie Blackmon still hold the lead over the hit. Charlie Blackmon, the right fielder from the Colorado Rockies, has 43 hits in 27 games with a .402 batting average. He currently leads the way. In second place, it's Kyle Lewis, the center fielder from the Seattle Mariners, who has 38 hits in 28 games, who has a .373 batting average. And then tied for third, you have three players with 37 hits. You have first baseman Jose Abreu from the Chicago White Sox, who now has 37 hits in 28 games and is batting .322. Additionally, David Fletcher, the shortstop from the Los Angeles Angels, has 37 hits in 28 games, who's now batting .316. And also, Ketel Marte, the second baseman from the Arizona Diamondbacks, has 37 hits in 27 games. He's now batting .336 for the season. I'm now looking at the doubles leaders, of course. Hanser Alberto, the second baseman from the Baltimore Orioles, and Christian Walker, the first baseman from the Arizona Diamondbacks, both lead the league in doubles with 12 of them. And then, of course, tied for third, you have Cesar Hernandez, the second baseman from the Cleveland Indians, Anthony Santander, the right fielder from the Baltimore Orioles, Dominic Smith, the left fielder from the Mets, and Mike Yastrzemski from the San Francisco Giants with 10 doubles on the season. Of course, looking to triples, Kyle Tucker, left fielder from the Houston Astros, has the sole lead over triples with 4 of them in 26 games. And then tied for second is Jaime Candelario, first baseman from the Detroit Tigers, and Mike Yastrzemski, center fielder from the San Francisco Giants with 3 triples on the season. Looking out to home run leaders, Fernando Tatis Jr., the elite shortstop from the San Diego Padres, holds the sole lead. He's the only player with more than 10. He has 12 home runs on the season. And then tied for second with 10 home runs, you have Jose Abreu, the first baseman from the White Sox, Anthony Santander, the right fielder from the Baltimore Orioles, Mike Trout, the elite center fielder from the Angels, and Luke Voit, the first baseman from the Yankees. RBI leaders, Fernando Tatis Jr. currently leads the league in RBIs with 29 of them. Tied for second with 27 are Jose Abreu, first baseman of the White Sox, and Santander, the right fielder from the Baltimore Orioles. And then tied for fourth are Nelson Cruz, the designated hitter from the Minnesota Twins, and Mike Trout, center fielder, the elite center fielder from the Los Angeles Angels, both with 25. Looking at walks leaders, Carlos Santana, the first baseman from the Cleveland Indians, currently leads the league in walks with 27 of them. Mike Yastrzemski has 23 walks. He's in second. And then Brendan Nimmo, the center fielder from the Mets, he's in third with 22 walks. I'm looking currently at the strikeout leaders. Evan White, first baseman from the Seattle Mariners, leads the league in strikeouts with 42 of them. Miguel Sano, first baseman from the Twins, has 41 strikeouts in 24 games. And in third place, Jorge Soler has 40 strikeouts in 27 games. And then looking at the stolen base leaders, Jonathan Villar, shortstop from the Miami Marlins, currently holds the lead in stolen bases with 7. And then there is a six-way tie for second place with 6 stolen bases. You have Andres Jimenez, the second baseman from the Mets, Alberto Mondesi, the shortstop from the Kansas City Royals, Dylan Moore, the right fielder from the Seattle Mariners, Tommy Pham, the left fielder from the San Diego Padres, Austin Slater, the right fielder from the San Francisco Giants, and Fernando Tatis Jr., the elite shortstop from the San Diego Padres. Then, of course, looking at the batting average leaders so far through the season, right now, DJ LeMahieu, second baseman for the New York Yankees, is batting .411 in 19 games. In second place, you have Charlie Blackmon, who's batting .402 through 27 games for the Colorado Rockies. And in third, You have Kyle Lewis, the center fielder for the Seattle Mariners, who's batting 373. Looking at on base percentage, right now Paul Goldschmidt leads the league in OBP with a 492 OBP. Bryce Harper, the right fielder from the Phillies, has a 478 OBP in 22 games, so he's in second. And in third is Kyle Lewis, the center fielder from the Seattle Mariners, who has a 463 OBP in 28 games. He's been hitting very well, or making base pretty well. And then looking at the slugging percentage leaders, right now Luke Voit, first baseman from the New York Yankees, has a 730 slugging percentage. Second place behind him is Bryce Harper, the elite right fielder from the Philadelphia Phillies, who has a 714 slugging percentage. And Brandon Lau is in third with a 708 slugging percentage. And then, of course, last but not least, jumping into the OPS leaders, right now Bryce Harper, the elite right fielder from the Phillies, has an 1192 OPS. Following him is Luke Voit of the Yankees with 1115 OPS, and he's tied with Jesse Winkler, designated hitter from the Cincinnati Reds, with an 1115 OPS through 25 games. Brandon Lau's in fourth with an 1103 OPS through 27 games. Now looking at your pitching leaders so far. So far, the ERA king is Trevor Bauer, who has a .68 ERA through 4 starts, through 26 innings. In second place, it's Shane Bieber with a 1.11 ERA through 6 starts, and he's currently sitting at 5-0. And at fourth place with a 1.32 ERA, it's Max Fried, the starting pitcher from the Atlanta Braves, through 34 innings pitched in 6 starts. He's sitting at 4-0 on the season. Right now, as of today, Trevor Bauer is the only pitcher that's thrown a complete game this season, and he's the only player with 2. Well, he's thrown 2 of them, and he's thrown 2 shutouts this season as well. Looking at the save leaders so far, Liam Hendriks from the Oakland A's leads the league in saves with 9 of them in 14 games pitched. In second, Zach Britton has 8 saves in 10 games pitched. And tied for third, you have Brad Hand from the Cleveland Indians and Kenley Jansen from the Los Angeles Dodgers. So far, all those players except for Liam Hendriks right now are perfect with their saves to save opportunities. So far, Shane Bieber has thrown the most innings. He's pitched 40.2 innings and still has a 1.11 ERA. The second most innings pitched goes to Lance Lynn of the Texas Rangers, who's pitched 39.1 innings. Who has a 1.37 ERA so far, and Kyle Hendricks right now he's pitched 38 innings and he has a 3.55 ERA through 6 starts. So that's currently what we're looking at. And last but not least, I'm gonna look at the strikeout numbers. Right now, Shane Bieber leads the league in strikeouts with 65 strikeouts through 6 starts. In second place with 14 less strikeouts is Sonny Gray from the Cincinnati Reds with 51 strikeouts in 6 starts. And tied for third, you have Lucas Giolito from the White Sox and Dinelson Lamet from the San Diego Padres. So that's everything that's going on with baseball as of right now. I'm going to run you through the stats because it is Sunday. And last but not least, the Champions League final is officially today at 3 o'clock as Bayern Munich, the German champions who are looking for their treble after winning the Bundesliga and they won their domestic title. They're going to face off against PSG, who in addition to winning the Ligue 1, they won their 3 domestic titles, and they're looking for the Champions League win, their first ever Champions League win in their history. That'll be a very, very big game, and that's going to be a game I'm going to watch at 3 o'clock. But with that said, I appreciate everyone for tuning in for all 35 minutes of this. Once again, it is Sunday, August 23rd, 2020. I'm James Sims. This is The Elite. Thank you for hearing my piece. Peace out.